You ever pull up to your own damn lake house after a long trip, radio off, just the gravel humming under the tires, and that first breath of cool water air hitting you only to see tire tracks everywhere, deep and fresh? Like half the neighborhood decided your private dock was their personal party deck? And the lights you never leave on glowing bright across the water? Yeah, that was me. I almost laughed out loud until the anger settled in my chest like a cold stone. Because this wasn't kids sneaking around. This was deliberate. And the woman behind it all. Karen Ridgway, our HOA president, the one who always smiled like community spirit, was her middle name. I killed the engine and just sat there a second, listening to the metal tick down. 3 cars half hidden behind the hedges, silver crossover, little sedan, one of those cute SUVs Karen loved to call volunteer-friendly. The dock lights were mine. I never left them burning. I got out slow, boots crunching on the damp ground, and the smell hit me first, sweet synthetic smoke, citronella torches, and that faint beer tang left behind after a crowd packs up fast. No voices now. Just the lake lapping soft under the boards and wind whispering through the reeds like it was trying to tell me what happened. I walked down the path, heart thumping steady, not racing. Gate latch still closed, but the grass flattened in 2 big cooler-shaped rectangles. Foil wrapper with pink stars skittered past my boot. I stepped onto the dock and felt it right away. Glitter ground into the wood, twisted in by heels that didn't belong there. One cleat bent, red ribbon snagged around it like some cheap decoration. Shoe prints, narrow and clean, not my work boots. I crouched, ran my fingers over the grain, and that's when the decision locked in. Not rage. Discipline. I pulled out my phone, hit record, and panned slow. No commentary, just the evidence talking. Glitter catching the light. Scratched ladder. Bent cleat. The camera didn't lie. It documented. By morning the lake was dull silver, no drama in the sky, just flat light making everything sharper. I went back down with fresh eyes. Glitter still there, pressed deep. Dent in the ladder bracket, like something heavy got dragged. Crushed napkin with a rental logo wedged under the edge. Name tag half wet, only the word volunteer left in pink marker. I bagged every piece, ribbon, bottle caps, plastic stirrer, dated them, photographed them, logged them like I was building a case. Because I knew Karen. She didn't scream or threaten. She shaped the story early, soft and sweet, so by the time you pushed back you already sounded like the problem. Sure enough, the email landed before lunch. Hi there, hope your trip was nice, just following up on our little informal community, gathering on the waterfront, long-standing spirit of sharing along the waterline, no apology. No mention of my deed. Just our records reflect general community use. I read it twice, then 3 times, and felt that familiar click in my gut, calculation not explosion. I pulled my closing docs, plat map, bylaws. Doc sat fully inside my parcel line. No easement. No shared overlay. I started the binder that afternoon. Tab 1, timeline. Tab 2, before and after photos. Tab 3, property boundary. Every receipt, every timestamp, every scrap of paper. I wasn't angry yet. I was building a wall she couldn't talk her way around. That's when the violation notice showed up in my mailbox, bold letters screaming unauthorized restrictions and community access amenities. They'd reframed my gate, the one that had been there since the dock was built, as an obstruction. Fine starting at $25 a day, climbing fast, and a hearing in 2 weeks. Lien on my property if I didn't comply. I stood at the kitchen counter reading it, coffee going cold, and for the first time I felt the heat rise. But I swallowed it. Answered certified, polite as church, citing every bylaw section, attaching the plat, reminding them the Harbor Patrol log already showed her group claiming HOA permission. I sent record requests, 2 minutes, votes, any proof they'd ever authorized this. Silence at first. Then the dance. Tradition, informal practices, long-standing culture. No vote. No paper. Just Karen's favorite word, assumption. The neighborhood started to feel it. Waves turned into nods. Conversations shortened. People crossed the road to avoid small talk. I kept my head down, kept adding tabs. Then one afternoon the knock came. 2 soft taps on the back gate. Janine from across the cove, 2nd floor balcony lady I'd only ever waved at. She didn't say much. Just held out her phone. I wasn't sure if I should, but I figured you'd want these. 6 photos, timestamped the exact night I was gone. Dock lit up like Christmas, folding table, cooler against my cleat, lanyard with a volunteer badge swinging on some woman's neck. Patrol boat in the background, blue light slicing the water. People laughing, relaxed, like they own the place. Third-party proof. Not my footage. Not my word. Real eyes, real timestamps. That was the twist that changed everything. Suddenly, it wasn't just me in a room full of paper against Karen's smile. Someone outside the HOA bubble had seen it. I uploaded those photos, labeled them Exhibit C, added the tab, and felt the air shift. The isolation cracked. Neighbors started asking quiet questions at the mail kiosk. Wait, there was no vote. The binder grew heavier. The hearing came. I walked in with packets for every board member, plats, bylaws, harbor patrol log, Janine's photos. No shouting. Just facts. Karen tried the soft pivot. This isn't about paperwork, it's about community spirit. I let it hang in the air, then answered. If it's community, show me the vote. The room went quiet. No ruling that night, but the questions stayed hanging like smoke. It rolled into small claims court a few months later, fluorescent lights, vinyl benches, the bailiff calling names like it was any Tuesday. Karen sat behind her lawyer, face calm, eyes somewhere else. My attorney laid it out clean. Unauthorized gathering, false claim of permission, violation notice against the victim, no documentation ever produced. The judge flipped pages slow, asked the only questions that mattered. Was there a vote? No. Was permission asked? No. Was the doc ever formally designated shared? No. The air didn't explode. It just settled. The judge looked at Karen's side and said the words I'd waited for. The doc is private. Violation withdrawn. Repairs reimbursed. No more calling it a community amenity, ever. Stipulated settlement. Signed, filed, done. I drove home that afternoon with the windows down, lake air rushing in, and the settlement papers on the passenger seat. No big celebration. Just the quiet satisfaction of watching the sun hit the water the way it always had. But now nobody could pretend my dock belonged to the neighborhood newsletter. I replaced the bent cleat, fixed the ladder bracket, put up 2 small brushed aluminum signs. Private dock, permission only, surveillance active. Mounted a discreet camera. Nothing flashy. Just clarity. Looking back now, standing here at dusk with the boards quiet under my boots and the water doing its slow dance against the pilings, I realized something that hit harder than any fine ever could. All that power Karen held, the emails, the meetings, the spirit of community line she wielded like a club, it never came from rules or votes. It came from the gray space where everyone just assumed it was okay until somebody forced the paper to speak. And once the record was there, loud and time-stamped and impossible to smile away the assumptions folded like cheap lawn chairs. That's the bitter truth nobody says out loud. Entitlement hides behind friendly language and long-standing tradition until you shine a light on the lack of actual permission. Power doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers until you make it show its receipts. And when it can, it recalibrates. The dock's been still ever since. No surprise lights. No glitter. Neighbors wave again. Conversations last longer than 2 sentences. Karen still runs her committees, still smiles at meetings, but now every proposal comes with citations and votes spelled out clear. The language tightened. The atmosphere eased. Not because I won some loud fight, because the record won it for me. I don't hold grudges. I just keep the binder in the cabinet, receipts filed, footage archived. Structure doesn't need to shout. It just stands. So here's what I'm still chewing on: was I the rigid one for demanding paperwork, or was Karen the one who crossed the line the moment she decided community meant my property was hers to loan out? And if you've ever had an HOA try to rewrite the rules on your own backyard, or felt like someone was quietly taking what's yours while smiling about sharing, I want to hear it. Drop your story in the comments. Tell me who you think was right, who was wrong, and what you would have done with that binder. Let's talk about where the line really is between neighborly and entitled. I read every single one.